Good afternoon guys, welcome back to the Mid Handicap series we've got going here. Obviously the last couple of weeks we've been out on the golf course. First of all, I forgot to do this, is welcome back Dave.
Thank you very much, how are you doing?
Very good, yourself?
I'm alright, thank you.
Dave's alright, only alright. So
Leeds are doing well.
Leeds are doing alright, surprisingly. Arsenal, well they're not top of the league but they're up there. If we stay anywhere near that I'll be surprised. So, last 2 weeks we've been out on the golf course. We've still seen, as we'll put on the Arcos numbers here, the biggest thing that's hindering Dave is still this club he's got in his hands. So his driver, as we can see by the numbers there, it's saying on average is around about a 21 handicapper with the rating of Arcos system. As a result then we see, Dave, that obviously there it shows that he's then +6 over your handicap for approach
shots, yeah.
But
that's because I'm not getting enough distance on my driver, so it's putting pressure on my approach shots.
Yeah, exactly. So Dave there is identified if he's hitting his driver into the rough, his approach shots are then going to be hindered by that. If we can improve his driving, we should hopefully improve his approach shots, and then we should be able to get those lower. We can see the short game stuff, and we saw the chips on the videos the last 2 weeks. He chipped pretty well, putted well with his new putter, which he's still liking.
Yep. Although my mates think it's useless. But then again, he's Scottish and he uses a broom handle, so
his mate, who is Scottish and uses a broom handle, thinks his putter's rubbish. But he's doing a job, so we can see that he's gaining shots with his putting, gaining shots with his short game. If we can get this driver off the tee a little bit better, we should start to see him getting closer to single figures. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through a process I would with a driver lesson. So we've got Trackman here and we're going to have the numbers throughout. We're also going to film Dave, show the numbers before we go into doing some drills. So we're going to get Dave to hit 5 shots now. As he hits those, we'll put the Trackman numbers on, so we're going to start to see Dave's averages, see what he's hitting it. You say roughly 195 carry?
Yeah.
So 195 carry and then running out to around about 220. So ideally we'd like to see longer than that, as we always would, but it has to be consistent.
Yeah.
Even if we just get Dave consistent at 195 but down the middle, that's going to help. But we'll talk through the numbers. We're going to look at all different things here and what we're going to do to improve him. So Dave's done a full warm-up. He's loose as a goose, some would say. And Andy, don't worry, it's the last time I'm going to wear the orange shirt. It's the last day of summer officially, so it will be gone. We've just ordered some new stuff, so don't panic. So Dave, let's go. So full routine. Okay, so first up, Dave. Here we go. Pretty good shot down the middle. Yeah. Well, slightly right.
Yeah, not bad.
So again there from the numbers we can see that's carried 204. Very good shot, carried 204, gone 225. So you've actually carried it further than your optimum says, but you've lost 4 yards total. So again, let's go ahead. Next one up. We've got the only plane in the world going overhead. So one that you normally get on the course there, a little bit high on the face.
High on the face, starts to climb and then dips.
Perfect, so that's one that we see on the course with Dave sometimes. So that's only carried 159 yards.
Yeah.
So we've lost 50 yards in carry. As a result, it's only gone 166. So on the long par 4s, that's where you start to lose out.
Yeah.
So take your time, good routine. We'll start to film these up. Happy with that one?
Yeah. Very.
Very happy, young Dave saying.
Bit of draw.
Bit of draw, so numbers wise there, that's a bit more optimum. So carry was 202. We lost a little bit on carry, but then it ran out because it had a little bit of draw, like you say, a little bit lower spin, and pretty optimum. So that was a good shot, so that's a good one to have on camera.
That's the poor one again.
So another one, caught the ground a little bit before.
Yep, bit of a drop kick.
A little bit of a drop kick, so carried 157, so again another short one. We've lost 40-50 yards there, which is going to make a big difference out on the golf course.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, when you're playing a par 4 that's 370 yards.
We'll just let Big Mo cut the grass and go past. I think he's just cut one of your pink tees up. Good to see Big Mo out there, trimming the grass. Yep, so on the longer shot, on the longer holes?
So on the longer holes, say, let's say 370, 400 yards, all of a sudden I've got 250 yards in for my second shot, which absolutely kills me because I ain't got out in bag that'll go that far.
Exactly. So let's hit the last one. So 5th and final shot. So a little bit out of balance there.
A bit off balance, yeah.
Shot. So let's see that one. Good, so carried 198 and went 227. So it's got to its optimum numbers, but it was a little bit out of balance, and then as a result, sometimes we're going to see on the golf course that that's in the trees. So,
but it can go either way. If I'm off balance, it sometimes goes right and it sometimes goes left. It's
correct. So let's have a quick look at the numbers. So we've taken the average there from Dave's 5 shots, so we can see that one of the things that he struggles with is the dynamic loft. So when he comes into impact, there's different amounts of loft on the face each time. As a result, we're going to see that that's going to launch at different angles, it's going to have different amount of spin. As a result, that's going to affect the carry and the total distance. So we can see that's inconsistent, we can see the spin rate's inconsistent, and as a result we can see that the distances they're carrying are totally different. We also see, if we look at angle of attack, Dave drop kicked a few, then he hit a few low, so we can see sometimes he'll hit down, sometimes he'll hit up. So his action and his motion is not consistent. So to be able to be a better golfer, hit more fairways, we're going to need to have a look at the videos now and see what we need to look at with Dave, what we can help him with, how we can get him hitting more fairways and gain some distance. So we're straight into Dave's videos here. So we're first of all going to look at his posture. So posture, will go down the line first. For me, he's standing a little bit too far away from the ball, so maybe that's something that we'll see him possibly lose posture and let the club take control. Stance is slightly closed, but that's not too bad. I don't mind that for Dave. I think that comes more of, again, having the ball a little bit too far away from him. So if we look at the motion now, as he takes the club away, we'll see that straight away that club starts to drop on the inside. If we watch from here, we'll see how Dave starts to stand up and lose his posture. So his backside is moved away from the green line. Again, elbow slightly out, and then from here we can see that club wants to work slightly over the top. And the lower body's moving closer and closer to the ball now. So when Dave comes into impact there, it's not too much of a bad position, but he has lost his angle. So you can see the strike is on the toe, his hands have gone a lot higher than the shaft plane of when we started, and as a result from there it's very inconsistent where the start direction is and what kind of distance we're going to get. You can see the club face opens there because of the toe strike. And on the way through, the big thing for me, and Dave has mentioned it, he's always done that, but he's got what some would call the chicken wing. So it's a little bit of a guide on the way through, very hard then for him to guarantee where he's going to hit on the club face. If we move to face on, set up ball positions nice and far forwards, so I'm happy with that. His upper body is angled slightly backwards, so again very good. Feet turned out a little bit, as Dave's told me, for rotation to help him turn a little bit better. From here we can see that he does want to sway off the ball slightly. So head moves over onto the right hand side, so that might be something we're going to have a slight look at. He then stabilises, makes a good turn there, and then on the way down we see that he transfers his lower body over onto the left side, which is good. Then we can see that elbow starting to lead, so he leaves the club face open, he drags that through, and we see that he drags the path slightly left, and we see that he gets a consistent toe strike. And there on the way through, you can see then into the finish. So we're going to have a few things to look at for Dave. So we're going to try and get him a little bit closer to the ball so he doesn't lose his posture. We're also going to look at his left arm and his elbow on the way through. But his weight transfer is pretty good, and we might have a quick look at him moving off the ball. So we're going to look at that now. So let's have a chat with Dave. So we've just gone through Dave's numbers there, and we've just gone through his videos. So from the videos we saw that Dave was losing his balance a little bit. We also that he was losing distance. On average his total was 205, but we saw that his good ones were going 226, so or 230. We'll round it up. So what we need to do is we need to make Dave more consistent. We need to make sure that he's getting closer to that 220, 230 every time. As a result, he's then 2 clubs closer. Then his approaches will get better, and that's how we get closer to a single figure handicap. So setup wise, I brought in an alignment stick now. I've got that down at his feet so he's closer to the ball. So that's one of the biggest things we worked on with Dave. The next thing we're going to look at doing is a drill for him to improve his sequence. Again, stop that sway off the ball and allow him to turn better and then get through to his finishing balance. Because if he doesn't do this correctly, then he will fall over. There's quite a few people on the range. So Dave, I'll just show you the drill.
Cheers, mate.
So we're going to be doing a step drill. So from here, Dave's going to take his normal setup if I was hitting it down the range. And then from here, he's going to bring his feet together. And then as he takes the club away, he's going to start to step. Again. So he's going to bring his feet together, bring the club behind. As he starts to move the club head away, he's going to start that lower body working towards the target. So it's going to help him. It's not going to allow him now to sway off the ball, otherwise he'll fall over. So as a result, Dave's going to turn his upper body a little bit more, get this lower body working towards the target, and then be able to come through to a balanced finish. If Dave steps too far, he'll start to fall over. So we're going to get him returning to where we want. So not only is it a little bit closer to the ball, but then this will take care of the rest of the stuff we're wanting to work on. So we'll hit 3 shots, and then we're going to just let Dave go back to his normal stance, and we're going to see if that changes the numbers. So coming in now, Dave, you've also just told me that your driver length's a little bit shorter than normal.
It's a 3-wood shaft, so it's about 1.5 inches shorter than a normal driver shaft.
Okay.
So we're fitted for that, and the reduced length of it basically for accuracy.
Okay, so Dave was fitted, it was for a shorter length to make sure, well, to help him with his accuracy.
Just think how bad it could have been if I'd have got.
As we've seen from the video, his accuracy might be more down to his technique. We saw a lot of toe strikes there. Obviously, as a result, he's moving towards the ball, the club's getting taller, and he's hitting it off the toe. If the shaft was longer, that may be make an effect. It's also going to give him a little bit more speed, and as we know, speed is going to help Dave hit it a little bit further. So we're going to go through these drills to see if we can improve his accuracy and his distance. And then what I want to do in the second part of this video is get him into a longer shaft, maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit longer, to help him get more speed. If we can generate 2 or 3 more miles an hour with this accuracy and a centered contact, we should be able to get him 20-30 yards further down the fairway. And as we know, that's going to help massively in his scoring. Dave's laughing.
No, smiling.
He's dreaming of
Would be the
30
dream.
yards. So Dave will go through the drill first.
Would you make this drill any more difficult?
Now everybody's watching on the range, don't worry, Dave.
So it's...
So feet together.
Right, yeah.
So
feet together.
club back, there you go. Perfect. And then finishing balance. Famous last words.
Yeah.
Good. So feet together and through. Okay. So a little bit low, a little bit thin.
Yeah.
So from my position there, I could see Dave did a little bit too big of a step. So we need to make sure he doesn't do too big of a stride. Good. So feet together, club back, and then from there. Very good. So
You've got a twirl.
good carry. Let's have a look at. I'll have a quick look at the numbers. We'll load those up on screen now. So we've got there on screen. So even with the drill, it's gone 190. So carry. So that's 5 yards further than you carried before, but the total is already 10 yards further, and that's with the drill. So let's go one more drill, and then we'll go back to normal. Again, another good shot, good direction. So obviously Dave, what he's doing here is he's going to go through these drills, and then we want to get him straight back into normal as quick as possible, because we don't want him here doing step drills all the time, as that's not going to relate when he goes to play on the golf course in the next couple of days. So this might be something that he adds into his routine. We see the strike was a little bit better, more to the point for me the dispersion. It was more down the middle, starting on line. Probably just going to go into the semi if anything, which takes out the trouble. Right, let's have a look at those numbers. So see there from the numbers here, that one went 197 carry, 224 total. So that's already 20 yards on his average from before. I know that was one shot there, and that's with the drill. We now need to put that into real play. So we're going to get his set up there now a little bit closer and start to have the same kind of feel. So maybe it's not going to make him move off the ball a little bit now. So let's see if he hits 5 again. We're going to hit 5 balls, and then we're going to compare the averages. So Dave's in now, normal setup. We're going to hit the first of the 5 shots. So a little bit left there, but speed up to 92, so the highest speed we've had so far. Boom, there we go. So I know it was a little bit left and a little bit close, but that's carried 200, 199 and gone 231. So straight away it's added a little bit of speed to young Dave.
I haven't been called that in a lot of years.
So straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe not carried as far, but we'll see that on the screen now. Well, that's a blatant lie. So that one's gone carried 218 on 241. Clubhead speed up to 94.
Shut up.
Dave,
Something's up with the machine.
Dave's back, fit as a fiddle.
There's something wrong with the machine.
Right, here we go. Again, great strike, straight down the middle.
Balance were better as well.
Balance, in balance. Let's see what that one's gone. So, okay, carried a little bit short of that one. 203 carry, 242 total. 94 clubhead speed, and the spin rate very consistent. So because now of that movement, we're controlling the loft on the club face. It's coming out lower, less spin, and going a little bit further and straighter.
And just think what I could do if I had like a Bryson DeChambeau shaft.
Yeah. And just think if I taught full swing, the dream would be alive. Right, so 2 more and we'll see the average. Okay, a little bit left. So let's have a look at that one.
Didn't go as high either.
Didn't go as high, but speed 92.5 again, so we're up 3 miles an hour. It's carried 210 and gone 241. So last shot. So where was the strike on that, Dave?
Right off the toe.
Okay, but numbers which are up on the screen now, we've got 207 yards carry, 241 again. And we can see on the screen the dispersion there. The dispersion is quite tight. We've had one that's gone left, but the others are just down the left-hand side of the fairway. So if we relate that back to the on-course, we saw Dave on average hit it out to the right and lose his shot. So we're now down the left side. He's had a couple of straight down the middles. But let's get the average numbers now. So Dave, we've got the averages up there on screen now, and we're going to compare those to the previous ones we hit before we did that little drill. So you only hit 3 doing the drill, but we can see that clubhead speed's gone from 88 miles an hour up to 93.3, so 5.5 miles an hour. Carry's gone from 180 on average. I know you mishit a few, but in those 5 we didn't really mishit a few.
No.
Hit them all pretty good. A couple went to the left, but they were fine. They were in the semi. But we saw that we've gained around about 25 yards carry as an average. And
again, take that every day.
We'd take that every day. I certainly would. And then from there, it was 205 total on average, and we're now up to 240. So 35 yards. So 3 drills or 3 attempts at the same drill, a little bit closer, and you've been able to then gain, as we know, 35 yards.
Which is 3 clubs really.
Which is pretty much 3 clubs, so we should then see when we go on the course next time that Dave's hitting it a little bit further, a little bit more consistent. As a result, we can be attacking a few more pins. So I know Dave's short game's been good. If we can get rid of a few of the chips, we're going to score even better. I know he was 3 over last time we played, last week, but we could get that even closer to getting down to single figures. At some point we are going to go to Dave's home course and see him around there and start to see him playing and see what his scores are, because we need to look at maybe some course strategy around there. It's great doing it around here. It's a tough course here at Waterfront. Obviously it's quite tight off the tee, but if Garforth's a little bit different, it might be a little bit of a different game plan.
Yeah. So I don't need to bulk up like James Robinson to get a bit more distance.
You don't need to bulk up like James Robinson.
I'll cancel the pie shot.
Exactly. No chippy tea this week. So although we've gained Dave 35 yards and 25 carry and 5 miles an hour, I still want to look at trying to get Dave a little bit more distance. So in next week's part of this driver lesson / testing, we're going to get Dave a longer shaft. So we know that's around about 43.5, so a 3 wood length. We're going to try him in a 45-inch shaft, see if he can keep a centered strike and see if we can gain even more distance. If we can get him to 250, that'd be very good. I mean, even if he gets over 240, it's a lot more than what he's been getting whilst we've been out there. And hopefully then we start to see his scores come down. I know we're going into the winter, especially when it starts to get wet on the ground. We're going to need as much carry as possible to get Dave further down the fairways and still enjoying his winter golf. So, as always, Dave, I'd like to say thank you.
No, thank you.
Hopefully you've enjoyed that and understood.
I have, most of it.
Any questions below about that drill, guys, ask away. Again, ask Dave anything that and why you may have got a shorter shaft. We've obviously explained that it's accuracy. Comment below if you've done the same and you've started to see you've either lost distance or you've got better. Who knows? But we will have a look at that next week. As for now, guys, enjoy your weekend and we'll see you again next Friday.
See you soon.